lot of people were just like upset about it. I guess. I, I don't know. We'll talk about it during the live, I guess. Oh my God. Darian Mayo committed to Clemson. Which made it like, okay, obviously he thinks he's going there, I would think. Yeah, they do have Dominic Nichols too. Nah, bruh, he gonna keep fucking around, bruh. Yeah, yeah. I don't know, man. We'll see. We'll fuck around and see, I guess. Dan, don't hey, stop playing Jack Sawyer. He's gonna get it going this year. Anyway, probably should start this live now. Oh fuck, which one is it? Screen recording or scene two? I think it's screen recording. Hey, there it is. Do you have it? Well, that was because anyway, we started the live. Don't pull me away. We started the live. We're live now. We are live right now. Shout out to everybody. We are here live again because we have to discuss Marvel's Secret Invasion. So I guess we should probably wait for some people to get in here. I don't know how many people we got. You got it pulled up? You got it pulled up? Okay, cool. If anybody is in the chat, let us know how the sound is and all that good stuff. Yeah, no. The last live I was I low key fell asleep. Oh, they can't hear you. Hang on 1 second. I think I got it. Say something.
You hear me now?
I think they're good. William Moloch, let us know if you can hear Marcus now.
I'm gonna keep talking. Let me know. Let me know. Let me know.
But yes, no, I totally fell asleep and just yeah, I didn't turn the live off. So I don't know what you guys were talking about, but great content.
Yeah, sure. You wouldn't know.
All right, he can hear you.
There we go. Okay.
All right,
Cool.
pulling up the live for myself now. And all right, so let's talk. Let's talk secret review. Secret review. Jesus Christ.
Woo! Woo!
That was a great live. See you guys next week. We are out.
Oh, we're doing secret review tonight? Ah, wrong. I was prepared for the wrong show, man. I got to go back and watch that one.
Secret Invasion, episode 1 review.
Yeah.
Now, before we start, though, there has been news that has come out that supposedly the director, I believe, was told specifically not to read the comics for this one.
Let's do that after. Let's review first, and then get to that after. I'm going to judge it on its merit first, and then we'll talk about the mess.
Fair enough. All right. We start off in Moscow, present day, with none other than Agent Ross. He meets with Agent Prescott, who has gone full Charlie from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia with the meme, the whole conspiracy theory shit. And he even has a presentation to go with it. The conspiracy theory at hand? Skrulls. Nick Fury is on Saber, and Ross ain't about to just bring bro down for a theory. Prescott thinks what's coming next is proof enough. He says that he'll take the info to Fury, but that's when bro spears him Edge style, and then they start squabbling it out. Ross tosses bro a bullet and gets the hell out of Dodge. After a chase, it seems Talos was the one giving chase because, as it turns out, Ross was a Skrull this entire time during this whole.
So now, okay, here's what's going on, or here's, excuse me, what I am first impressions from this opening scene, right? Because that was the opening sequence to the series right there. They're working very hard, I can tell, to make this matter, right? Even though it's been pretty much self-contained so far, and I mean, we're episode 1, they are working hard to make this matter with the characters that they're showing you, in terms of who's a Skrull so far. Like, I don't feel like they middled around in like the obvious, humans that could be walking around since there's been Skrulls on Earth technically for 30 years. Or no, they're giving you somebody who's got a little bit of influence. So if that guy's been a Skrull for that long, what has he done? How long has he been a Skrull? Like, was he a Skrull in Wakanda forever? Was that Skrull Agent Ross?
Could be.
And then, if that's the Skrull, where's the weird one? And how long have you had him? See, now, that to me creates intrigue, right? Also, the pacing. While I felt like it got too fast at certain points during the show, like they were moving like breakneck speed a little bit too quickly for some of the impact to be felt. I felt like that was purposeful because they didn't want to, since this is a political kind of spy thriller, I feel like they didn't want to get bogged down in dialogue, and in doing so, they kind of sped through some of these scenes, and that at certain times I felt like it worked to their detriment. But I can see the intent, and I appreciate it. Right. Just because it's a spy thriller doesn't mean we need to be bogged down in dialogue for 3/4 of the show. They can still move plot forward and do things that are interesting to keep us engaged, and for the most part, I think that they did that. But the Ross thing, the initial chase scene, the breakdown of the conspiracy, it all pretty much makes sense. If we were going to end up with this, I don't think we had to work so hard to make the Skrulls sympathetic characters, and Captain Marvel is one of my biggest criticisms of that movie. But it was easily fixed, right? And it made sense. Okay, boom. You've been promising these folks a new home for years.
Yeah.
And the best you can do is abandon nuclear sites in Russia. All right, so it makes sense that a child who's had to grow up and now see other children live in the same stuff that he's in, shit, man, sounds like being black in America. Like, it's an easy way to get disaffected and then spread that angst, that anxiety, that social anxiety to the up and coming, generations, until one day you look up, you got a full blown revolution. Now, they haven't done much to tell us exactly where the hearts and minds are amongst the Skrulls on Earth, right? Mm-hmm. They're telling us that, like, yeah, this is a faction that's kind of used the ill feelings of the Skrull community to kind of galvanize them in this way. But they haven't told us exactly, what the split is. Or is this just a bad fraction of the Skrulls? Right now, I'm under the impression that he has unified the Skrull factions under this cause of making Earth their home. Mm-hmm. That's my early impression. If that's the case, and you've got hundreds of thousands of Skrulls because they've been here, or thousands of Skrulls because they've been here reproducing for 30 years and infiltrating, that is a premise that has a potential to keep rising up, even if it's not going to be to the degree that the comic book version was. It's something that doesn't have to stay here after they get a chance to tell their story.
Yeah.
It's something that can continue to have implications down the line. So like I like the way that they started it. The intentions are very good. Yeah, let's stick there for now.
So to address the first thing you were saying about the dialogue, I agree because I feel like when you bog it down with too much dialogue, I feel like you start giving away things that can be implied from like subtext and things of that nature that really
Mhm.
allow the viewer to get a little bit more integrated into the story. You're just kind of giving the entire story away through
Give it to
dialogue.
yeah.
So it's a
Yep.
lot better. It makes it a lot easier for me to get into the story when you don't have literally spoon fed through the dialogue. So I
Hmm.
agree. I think that is pretty good so far, at least. The other thing is you just described the scrolls, and for the life of me, I just felt like I was listening to you describe Carly Morgenthau and the Flag Smashers.
And the Flag Smashers, yeah. Yeah,
So
a
it's
little bit different of a premise. The Flag Smashers wanted to establish something for the refugees in the camps,
mm,
right? Because they were being displaced because everybody was coming back. The Scrolls literally want the planet.
yeah,
Like it's world domination. I don't know that Flag Smashers thing was world domination
sure,
as much as it was maybe sovereignty. So a little bit different of an aim, right? Like we're just trying to keep our homes that we were given at the worst moment of our lives. The Scrolls want to literally make someone else's home their home. They want to take over. They want to infiltrate and they want to topple government or a race of people.
yeah. Shout out to Ronnie J. What's going on with you, bro? Looks like we're up to 6 people in the chat. Shout out to everybody for joining. All right. Somebody has to explain what the issue is with the whole AI thing. I don't think it was really that bad. It just seemed like it was sufficient enough
The
game work
intro,
for the intro. I don't see what was so
I
bad
didn't
about
even
it.
know there was a controversy around it until after, like well after.
It seemed
So
like it
I
fits
don't
the
know.
show. It seems like thematically it just kind of worked with everything. I don't know why everybody's freaking out about it, but for me, if you want to freak out about anything, it's what we're going to talk about later in the whole director thing. But
Yeah,
uh,
yeah, I no clue. So I would literally need someone to explain what the controversy is with the intro.
maybe somebody will let us know by the end of the show. Anyway, Nick Fury has been beamed down to Earth and has been welcomed by Maria Hill. He is working on, or he was working on Saber, but obviously, Talos called him down and said, "Yo, bro, we need some help down here."
Hmm.
Fury meets with Talos and Fury apologizes over Soren. And as Fury asks about Gravik, Talos wants to talk about Fury and what happened after the blip with Gaia and Carol Danvers. Thought that was a little weird that he just decided to up and change subjects, but we figure out why by
Yeah,
the end of the show.
sure.
All right, Gravik, the newest member of the Skrull Council, is holed up in an abandoned nuclear plant in Russia. I immediately wondered, like, why can't the government figure out where, according to radiation, maybe where they're holed up?
Well,
I thought that was a
so
little
they
weird.
say it was light. It was very quick, but they did mention that like, yeah, we know that these sites exist. We know approximately where they are, and I think that was the point of the map. But he said they're off the books, meaning they don't have direct coordinates. So like, you want to go sniffing around in bumfuck Russia looking for it? Be my guest. But it's not as accurate as being like, all right, boom, this is where we're going. We know they're exactly here. A lot of that time stuff was done under the guise of espionage. So like, they're literally creating buildings and structures for no other reason to conceal that they're working on nuclear weapons. So like, it's not as easy as just walking down the street and going to the giant silo. If I'm giving them the bail, that's what I'm saying. That's what
Fair,
it is. It's
fair.
easy enough to believe, I think.
Somewhat. I just feel like you could probably narrow it down if you wanted to, but you know what? I'll go along with the story, I
If
guess.
they were hunting him that hard, I think yeah, they would just start indiscriminately bombing shit if we're talking about real life. But not, in the context of the MCU, I guess I could take it.
Fair enough. Shout out to Miss McCabe. Is it McCabe? McCabe? I'm sure she'll let me know.
They can't
Anyway,
dialogue back with you, Josh.
what? Shout out.
She can't dialogue back with you. You're
She can
asking
at
her.
least say if I pronounced it right.
Okay, you're right. You gave
Yeah,
10 options. That's
yeah.
fine.
Shout out to her and shout out to, I think we're up to 10 now. So again, shout out to everybody in the chat. All
Appreciate
right.
y'all.
Gravik's plan apparently includes starting a war between Russia and the US with a bomb and some weapons that he has holed up in Kazakhstan. And apparently, if he succeeds, humans will no longer exist. Now, according to Borat, Kazakhstan is the #1 country in the world, so probably one of the best places to put your weapons if you have them. So just
I guess so.
throwing that out there. All right, Rhodey is telling Dermot Mulroney that Fury is back on Earth and not working on Saber. And Dermot Mulroney tells him to deal with it, which means we will probably have more Rhodey going forward in the show.
Yo, hey, first of all, Rhodey, who told you go in here and snitch? What job you got? You better be Secretary of State, boy. Boy, you better have a cabinet position for all that snitching you was just doing. Yeah, they're both gone, and so they're technically AWOL. So just wanted to let you know that, sir.
Are you telling me that
Again,
Rhodey
Rhodey.
turned Gunna?
Shit, right here, there. Hey, Rhodey, you couldn't pick up the phone. You couldn't call me and be like, "Hey, yo, look. Now I don't want to do this. I'm gonna have to go talk to the president. I'm giving you a heads up. All right." You know what I'm saying? Get your shit together. You know what I'm saying? Nothing personal. I got to do my job, but I wanted to give you, the one too. For the old Avengers' sake. Man, look at Rhodey. Good company man.
Rhodey went full 6'9".
But, is it Rhodey? See, that's the interesting thing about this show, and I am kind of glad that they gave us some other staple MCU figures to work with. I never really expected them to get any of the big guys for this event to match it to what the comic book was. But you got to give us big enough characters to where, like, we have to question now the chronology of the MCU timeline and its legitimacy. Because, again, these creatures have been here for 30 years. Mm-hmm. They've been here for decades. They've had a long time to replace folks. There's a lot of potential in that. There's a lot of stuff that you can do storytelling wise with that. There's a lot of stuff you can retcon. A lot of stuff you can retcon. Go retcon crazy with the scrolls.
Whew, yikes.
If you really wanted to fix some stuff, you know what I mean? See. So like, that's the really interesting potential to all of this. But yeah, once again, is that Rhodey that we talking to? He would have every reason in the world to hunt down Nick Fury again if that was not Rhodey.
Is that Rhodey? Is that Dermot Mulroney? I like throwing out his real name because
just call him the president.
No, he's Dermot Mulroney. He's President Dermot Mulroney.
That's not what they called him.
That's his name now.
It's also really sad because knowing that this guy is eventually going to lose to a hawk. He's going to lose a presidential election to a hawk. So an 80-year-old hawk at that. Homeboy is about to lose his presidency to an 80-year-old hawk. And I know it's going to happen for sure. Like, it's happening.
Yikes. Shout out to Profess That Film Fan, or Profess the Film Fan. That one I definitely mispronounced. Anyway, while staring at white women while walking through the streets is liable. Oh, let me rephrase that because I got a whole joke with it. While staring at white women while walking through the streets is liable to get you a death sentence here in the U.S. In Moscow, it's only good for a casual kidnapping. And after some pleasantries, Nick Fury speaks with Sonya about teaming up on this Skrull invasion. Upon asking her questions about the Kazakhstan situation, she lies and Fury calls her out. Bro flexes his experience with the Skrulls, but Sonya believes that Fury has no chance at stopping the Skrulls.
So this is going to be interesting, right? Because this dynamic has been set up in, a lot over the last 3 or 4 years, and it has gone either like terribly bad or it's gone remarkably well. The idea that the age-old icon or legend is now over the hill and no longer has what it takes to get the job done, right? We seen it in Top Gun Maverick. We seen it in we're going to see it in Indiana Jones, right? It's a very rewashed concept. And so this could go one or two ways, right? Maria Hill could be proven right, and Sam Jackson ends up being a loaf, and one of the ancillary characters could end up, effectively becoming the next Fury. Right? That's how the MCU tends to do those kind of things. What Top Gun Maverick did is spit in the face of that and said, doesn't matter how old this character is, doesn't matter how much they ache or they hurt while they're going through it, they're going to give 110 and they're going to get it done because he's goddamn Nick Fury, or because he's goddamn Maverick, or because he's Indiana Jones, or because he is that guy. And even though he's old, we are going to find a way to make him that guy still. It can go one or two ways. But they're definitely setting it up for the age-old, man, is he over the hill? Does he have enough in the tank? Will he get it done? He will either get saved by someone else who has enough to get it done, or he will slap everyone in the face. And I'm hoping it's the latter, because if they choose the latter, this show has potential. Regardless of what, the early review crowd or the ones who ride the Disney hate algorithm all the way to the bank are saying about it, even if after the first damn episode, we don't even have ratings on the first episode. And there are some platforms that are willing to get on their microphones and tell you that this thing is a failure. That lets you know who's honest and who's not. All right. Haven't even gotten the viewership ratings of this. Show's been out for a day. The show's been out for a single day. So if you got the balls to call it a failure now, you're a hack. But in any case, things like that continue to give it potential. If they do it right. People want to see their age-old heroes continue to do hero shit. They don't want to see them in Depends and using a walker and getting shown up by their irritating younger heir apparent. Mm-hmm. It's just not what they want to see. So, yeah. And it doesn't even seem like he has one of those characters as of right now to play off of. So I'm thinking the latter.
I would agree. Now that you mention it, I don't have this joke anywhere in my notes right now, but I'm going to start calling this show Shaft: Secret Invasion.
You don't have to do that.
I'm going to start calling it that. Shaft: Secret Invasion. That's what it is. Samuel Jackson in a spy thriller. It's Shaft: Secret Invasion. Anyway, Leader says, What's up, fellas? I love your video with the woke explanation, by the way. Shout out to you for that, Leader.
Appreciate that, Leader.
Part 2 and Part 3 coming on this channel at some point in the future, so make sure you check that out. William Moloch says, since we know Carol is on Earth at this point, where is she?
Dealing with is she on Earth? I'm assuming that all of this is going on around or close to the same time as the Marvels. So, I mean, I don't know. We don't really have a confirmation of when exactly this is happening, right? We know okay, so it's sometime after WandaVision for sure. It's definitely after the blip. It's after WandaVision for sure, because he was on the Saber Station. If he's coming back from the Saber Station, that was definitely post WandaVision. So somewhere in between WandaVision and the Marvels, I would think.
Yeah.
If that's the case, then she may not be on Earth right now. She's either she's either gallivanting, doing whatever it was at the time that she was body swapping with Kamala Khan, or she's still embroiled in that, in that conflict with Monica and Kamala.
Now, to be fair, well, no, I guess the Agent Ross thing said Moscow present day.
Right, but present day relative to, like, what, us? Or the MCU timeline? And then if you're saying the MCU timeline,
maybe,
where...
But I guess we don't...
Okay, so where are we at in the MCU timeline?
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough.
Relative to these movies that are coming out.
Yeah. Who knows?
It's weird to try to figure out.
Skrulls are pulling up to armed gates as niggas in an effort to get into New Skrullos. Did not think that was going to be the move. You're going to show up
Hey,
as a
yo,
black man to an armed gate?
I was about to say in Russia, black man in Russia to an armed gate. Hey, yo, you talking about trying to hide in plain sight, boy? Hey, look,
It's a bold
I
move.
respect you. No, I respect it. I do. I respect you. But boy, if you didn't drop one plight to pick up another one, like,
It's a bold move, but we see that it works out just fine for him. So
yeah, it worked for him.
Homegirl, who met up with him at the gate, gives him some blueberry yum yum, which is apparently some type of scroll produce, which I'm assuming gets you high. It's some kind of hallucinogenic.
It was literally just a fruit. He said he hadn't eaten in days.
It was like a mushroom. It was some kind of
hallucinogenic. My dude hasn't eaten in days, and the first thing he does is take some drugs.
Yeah, bro.
That's okay.
Bro. Why not? Time to get lit. You know what I mean? This is presumably the compound that Graphic is holed up in. They can be themselves in their real skin here. While Bro waits for his room, the Skrulls got some old bullshit going on in the back where they take over the identity and minds of humans that they've captured, which is what the Skrulls do, but like a little jarring to see, I guess.
Man, this is what I was expecting to see in Captain Marvel. So I'm taking all of this in and taking it for what it is, because we might not ever see these version of them again by the end of the series. So I'm taking it for what it is right now. This is the Skrulls that I know. This is these are their machinations. These are their motivations. This is how they get down. They show up to your shit, they take your body, and they take over silently for years without you ever knowing. And so I'm glad that, even in spite of maybe not doing his homework, this is the route that he chose to take with this group of people definitively, as opposed to the creators in Captain Marvel.
I would agree. Gravik is in the body of a bootleg Drake, a champagne copy, if you will.
Yo, why in my mind, dude was Reggae Page?
He kind of gave that off,
Page.
But
I was like, in my mind, we were getting ready to set up to watch Homeboy from Bridgerton and Amelia Clark and Sam Jackson and Ben Mendelsohn, and like everybody. But I definitely thought Bridgerton dude was part of the cast, but he's somebody completely different.
You might as well have casted him in that role, I guess. But I guess they feel like they got the right guy.
Hey, if him and Homeboy ain't brothers, I don't know what a brother is. They got to be long lost twins separated at birth.
Facts. Gravik explains that they will start tomorrow, and they won't stop until Earth is theirs. His second-hand man sends Homegirl from the gate on a mission to take cash somewhere, presumably payment to do the attack that'll start the war. Which actually now I find out that it's the bombs, but
the bombs
still kind of weird. Nick Fury, Talos, and Maria are on the scene, and after Homegirl makes the payment, they stop the man who she pays. Maria Hill goes after the Homegirl as a person of interest. Fury questions the man with the dirty bomb, and he continues to lie. That's when Talos starts to whip Bro's ass until he doesn't. That's when Fury puts two in his chest, and Talos gets upset because it was supposed to be his fight, or he didn't want a Skrull to die. I wasn't sure which one it was.
Maybe he's kind of going through some of the same stuff Fury is doing. Now listen. Talos already has an arc, so we don't need to do any more of this. I'm an old man. I don't know if I have it anymore bullshit with him. Okay? We already have one person doing that, and that's Nick Fury. And that's fine. That's enough. But we don't need to see it mirrored in Talos as well. He got his own arc going on with losing leadership of the Skrulls, being exiled, and now not having a daughter. Oh, and he lost his wife. He got enough going on. He also doesn't need an identity crisis or a midlife crisis right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep.
So let's not double up, because I think that's what it was. It was like, oh no, I used to be able to take him down easy. I would have been able to take him down easy 10 years ago. You know, because I mean, both of these guys are older. He's not nearly as old as Nick Fury is in Skrull years, but or in human years, but still, with 130 something, 136, he said.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Much older than he was the first time they met each other.
Yes, absolutely. K-Pop says, "What up, Back of the Bus? My favorite Black
What's
YouTube
going
channel
on?
for entertainment news. Yo, Disney/Marvel is bankrupt, man. LOL. I heard they used AI because a lot of artists quit.
Oh, is that what it is?
That's crazy.
Mm.
That's wild.
Well, I wonder if they were part of the strike, right? Because they can't work.
Could be.
Maybe they had to. I mean, that would actually line up with what you're saying. If they're yeah. I mean, anybody right now in charge of those productions, that was probably one of the last things they had to do. And then the writer's strike happened. It was like, damn it, what are we gonna do? Hey, try GPT. Oh
they
shit, yeah,
definitely
no, that's a good idea.
They definitely was like Midjourney. Imagine Nick Fury in AI. Enviro Earth
Yeah,
2 says, "What's up,
GPT,
guys?"
do the intro.
Yeah, nuts. Enviro Earth 2 says, "What's up, guys?" And says, "Is Kobe still hot?"
Kobe who?
Kobe Smulders, Maria Hill.
You in a mom kind of way.
In a mom kind of way. That's nuts.
Like if you caught her at a Walmart in the right pair of athletic athleisure, maybe.
You know what?
She's the last one you talking to at the bar, but you catch her at something unconventional to meet women.
You know what?
Sure.
I will say, because I was about to say she was also in How I Met Your Mother, and so yes, I think she can be, but she's not as Maria Hill to me. I'm just throwing that out.
So
She actually looks like Blanca a little bit as Maria Hill.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, no, she had and her swag is a little weird too. She's a blazers and jeans kind of girl. It was very off putting.
Blanca.
Yeah, I'm gonna say no.
I would say probably in real life, but I'm not into Maria Hill.
No. The actor in real life, yeah. Maria Hill on Secret Invasion, you got to be a special type for that to be your thing. You are a different breed.
Facts. Marvelous D says hello. Shout out to you. I think we're up to what, 16, 17?
Appreciate
17.
y'all, every single one of you.
Glad you all can join us. It's good that we can talk Marvel, because I know we don't have a lot of Marvel. Well, we're starting to get a lot of Marvel lives, but it's nice to actually be a part of one.
Sure.
Just throwing that out there.
Oh, yeah. I mean, anytime you want to come on and talk about the books, Josh, the only thing you gotta do is turn your camera on.
What you talking about, bro? I don't know nothing about comic books, bro.
Anytime you want to talk about the books, you can just hop on, turn on your camera.
No, thank you. I don't know anything about the comic books. The Kamoyo Kid says, "Good evening, brothers. Maria been living a hard life. She is no Sharon Carter." Yikes. Leader says, "Gentlemen, do you think the MCU should abandon the map of projects they are scheduled to shoot?" Which I think they're probably going to have to at some point.
I think they're already on that map, Leader, or whoever said. I'm sorry, my bad. Whoever said that.
Said it, yeah.
Leader, yeah. I think they're already on that road.
But
I think that has already begun.
He wonders if they should go straight to X-Men projects and continue on the current plan.
I think whatever happens after this incursion event that they're talking about and Captain Marvel will, because here's the thing, you're going to get to a certain point with releasing these movies where you can't reverse course. Right? If you get too close to Secret Wars before you've adjusted what it is you're going to do, eventually you're going to be locked in, right? You start shooting those next. Let's say we break out of the writer's strike in the next 3 to 4 months. They start back up production on Blade and Deadpool and everything, and all those films start coming out, right? Then you start getting into the latter half of Phase 5, Phase 6, where you're supposed to be starting to get into Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars and stuff like that. The ship better be righted by then, and you better have a clear direction, or else that phase is never going to see the light of day.
I agree, and especially by 2026 and 27 now.
That phase is never going to see the light of day. Like, they have already filmed content right now that they are sitting on. Right? Coven of Chaos, shot. Echo, shot. Daredevil was on its way before the writer's strike ended, right? So They have content that they are sitting on, or at least pushing down the road right now. It's not like they haven't stopped adjusting course right now. I think they're projecting more wait and see.
Mm-hmm.
But internally, I don't think some of this stuff is ever going to see the light of day. I think they're going to keep kicking the can down the road on a lot of these titles so that they don't have to flat out admit that they failed on them, that they tanked. But I don't think a lot of this stuff is ever going to get seen. I'm in. If we ever see the Ironheart series, I will be surprised. I will be very surprised.
I would definitely be surprised by that.
Armor Wars, the movie, is probably going to depend on the popularity and the success of Secret Invasion. Because I think that was a follow-up for this arc, was going to be in Armor Wars.
Possibly also Captain America, because Rhodey's supposed to be in that too, isn't he?
Sure. And I'm sure if Rhodey's in that, then the Skrulls will be involved in some way, shape, or form, it feels like. But it just have stuff right now that they could be pushing towards the firm, or at least holding firm on release dates, and they're not. Or they could just straight up give us what's already been shot, and they're not. So, and it's not just a Marvel thing; it's a Disney thing. Same thing going on with the Acolyte. Been shooting for years. Oh yeah, no, the Acolyte's coming. Well, where's the stuff?
Yeah.
Where is it? Leslie, where's the stuff? You know what I mean? Like you can't just keep telling me something's coming. Man, I was 15 when you told me that shit was coming. Where's it coming? Where's that?
Yikes. Enviro Earth 2 says, I think the answer is when she was younger, she was nice, but she's older now. So maybe Kobe not.
Hey man, older doesn't mean worse looking.
That's
for everyone, I guess. Older doesn't necessarily mean worse looking.
That's fair enough.
But she is certainly seasoned.
Yeah. K-Pop brings up a question where I'm going to hold off. I'm going to take the break there. But shout out to Marvelise for saying we keep it real. Appreciate you. The other questions I will ask as soon as we finish the rest of this episode. All right. Homegirl notices that Maria is following her. Maria cautiously upstrapped when she doesn't see that Homegirl is in the vicinity, but she's got to be quicker than that because she gets back, catches that back up on her, whatever. That Talos catches up and fires a warning shot. Turns out Homegirl is Gaia, his daughter. Talos explains that her mother Soren is dead and presumably Gravik killed her. She gets upset.
You don't got no cell phone? Skrulls can't use cell phones?
That is nuts. That's crazy.
But why am I telling you that your mother is dead to your face? Now, in her defense, she is off the grid for sure.
Yes.
Communications are low, but if her mother died, you
gotta find some kind of way to communicate.
Some kind of way to communicate that to her. Yeah. Or maybe they hid it from her, and that's gonna play a role later on.
Fair enough. She gets upset, obviously, and explains that Talos can't protect anyone, and then she escapes. She then finds a place to quickly cry and grieve, obviously. Nick Fury walks into a bar. Sounds like a bad joke, but after smoothing things over with a local, Fury calls himself a spook and tells Maria that she can't call him a spook. That seemed like such a random line, and I'm just like, why did they have to add that in there?
Remember that Samuel L. Jackson is an executive producer on this show.
Fair enough.
That was his joke. That was 100,000% his joke. I don't think you can say spook. No, you can't say spook. It's one of those things where, like, you expect them to use that term when they're talking about agents in a show like this, and it would just go over, and nobody would think two bits about it.
Except for the. I was like, really? Really? That's what we're doing here? But now that you mention it, it's definitely Samuel L. Jackson's joke. For sure.
That's definitely Samuel L. Jackson's joke. He put that in there.
Absolutely.
That was him.
She pondered why Fury left Saber, and he states that he owed Talos. Maria explains that Fury isn't ready for this based on who he has been after the blip, which has been constantly mentioned that obviously Fury has changed quite a bit since the blip.
I mean, to a degree, they have to do that because we haven't seen Nick Fury post Blip.
Yeah.
You know, they have to establish what this character's been up to, what it is, who he is right now, because we've seen a glimpse of him walking on the Saber Station after WandaVision, and that was it.
Yeah.
That's it since the Blip. That's the only thing we've seen him. So, like, I feel like they're attempting to try to fill in that space for us mentally, like telling us he's a different guy. They do better to show us that.
I would agree.
They do better to show us that because from what I'm seeing, this is the same guy. Same guy.
Everything else seems like it's the same guy.
Talk the same, shoot the same, smart, calculated, ahead of the curve usually. Same guy to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Same guy to me.
For sure. Gaia comes back with the bombs and she explains that she almost didn't make it back but doesn't give up Talos. She wants to delay the attack, but they're not holding up their plans for obvious reasons. Not going to stop my plan of bombing Russia. You kidding me?
Well, so since she ran into him while she was getting the bombs, now they know that they're tailing her, and so now they plan to use that to their advantage.
Fair enough. Yeah. Talos is driving a cab with Gaia in it, who disguised herself. They head to a secluded area to speak. She tells him that the attack is planned for the next day. There will be 3 bombs, and Gravik knows Talos will be there to stop it. She says that she will mark each courier bag with infrared spray. So then we get to that day, and Nick starts following. Oh, we get to that day, and obviously she has everything marked with an X. Those bags eventually become decoy bags. Nick Fury starts following what eventually appears to be Gravik as he's continually shape-shifting. Gravik turns around and lets the bombs go off as he stares back at Fury. Maria catches up to Fury and is then shot, presumably by Gravik.
By Gravik. Hey man, the shape-shifting stuff keeps you on your toes, man. You never really know what's going on. And did I really expect Hill to die? No. I expected to drag her off, and there was a little cut scene of her in the hospital after, and Nick Fury sitting by her bed saying, "I'll make this right." No, she dead. No, they iced her. She's gone.
Yeah.
She's gone.
The only thing
Real
that
stakes.
the only thing that would have been maybe a little more intriguing, she's a Skrull.
Yeah, but then they wouldn't have shot her if she's a Skrull. Yeah, they wouldn't have shot her if she's a Skrull.
But that'd have been like, But that was episode 1. Do you want to get to the questions? Do you have any final thoughts?
Decent. Yeah, we'll get to all the questions. I guess my parting thoughts on episode 1 is that this did feel sort of like Winter Soldier in TV form, right? This felt like what Falcon and Winter Soldier was going for before it kind of got bogged down. This was a decent episode 1 for me, man. I for the life of me, I think number 1, Disney has a branding problem right now. Right now, they have an issue of reputation, which is something that you would never think would associate with the mouse. Right now, they have a problem with reputation, both on the screen and off.
Yeah.
And that, unfortunately, is leaving projects that are going to... This is a project that's going to take a bit of faith from a watcher, from a viewer, especially a casual viewer. There's no one flying, no one with super strength, no one with extraordinary powers that are going to allow them to overcome their obstacles. This is a human being, right? This is Mission Impossible Disney style. So it's a different sell, right? With aliens, it's a different sell. But I think that they're going to struggle to get a lot of those casuals to take that leap because A, it's not something extraordinary. And extraordinary is what you're looking at when the tide has turned on your brand. So now when people aren't even giving you the basic level benefit of the doubt, like, oh, it was a decent episode 1. Let's see what they got for the rest of the season. No, it's trash. It's a failure. It's over. Just another MCU failure, right? Like, that is more reflective of your reputation at the time than of the actual content. We don't know enough about the show to know whether or not it's going to be a success or not.
Yep.
We don't have the viewership ratings. We don't know how many subscribers are going to be got off of this entire, run of the series. We don't know anything about the marketability of any merchandising around this line. We don't know if Skrull toys are gonna go selling through the roof. We have no fucking clue. We don't know. None of it's been collected.
Yeah.
You can predict. Go ahead, get your predictions out there. Stand on them too. But people making proclamations as if they are fact when we've only gotten one episode is very telling. In two aspects. One, about them and their character, but also about the general reputation, because they're only doing that because it's algorithmically pleasing, because it's going to get the clicks, it's going to get maximize ad revenue. Absolutely, because the Disney hate train is rolling right now.
Yeah.
I mean, don't. I done took a couple rides around on that mug too, but it's not. I don't have to do it so blindly that I can't look at a objectively good content and be like, okay, that was decent. That was good. But I also can tell that it's suffering because of the reputation that the MCU has built up for themselves over the last 2.5 years.
For sure. No, I thought episode 1 as an intro was pretty good. Kept my attention for the most part. Like we mentioned earlier, the dialogue wasn't too much. They allowed me to kind of get really initiated into the show pretty well. And I look forward to seeing some, different plot twists, knowing Marvel, some cameos at some point, things like that. So
one more criticism I have for it before we get to the questions. The score. It's very basic MCU thriller music. No, man. Y'all need to kick that up. You definitely should have put some more budget on the score. You need to set spy thrillers up. And it's very easy to make them feel like episode of the weeky. It can go from James Bond to MacGyver real quick, depending on how you set these scenes up. And the pacing mixed with some of the score at the times kind of took me out of the espionage feel, or the kind of the spy feel that you kind of get, the kind of like anxiety of not knowing what's going to happen next. But if I'm hearing every time they turn a corner, yeah. Like you're obviously leading me into a big moment and you're taking away from it. Like sometimes you don't even need music, just dead silence.
Yeah.
Yeah. For these type of shows. But in any case, even given all of that, still a thumbs up for me on episode 1.
If they were looking for somebody to do the score, maybe just some older music, maybe some funkier Isaac Hayes style,
Oh my God.
Give us a little Shaft. Because that's what
MCU
it is, right?
used to be really good with soundtracks and scores. Now it's all pretty much cookie cutter, I feel like. They all sound the same, essentially.
No, that's a fact. All right, let's get to these questions. Let's see where I left off at. I think K-Pop. My question is, and Theo brought this up, where is this show going? Because nothing in Secret Invasion is anywhere near the great story like in the comics. We won't be seeing any MCU heroes in this show.
So, again, we talked about this a little bit at the beginning. It's not, obviously, we're not getting Chris Evans as a Skrull. We're not going to get Tony Stark as a Skrull. We won't get Mark Ruffalo as a Skrull, anything like that. I think the most that you can expect is other characters that will be more prominent in the coming phases. So now does that mean, obviously, we've gotten Agent Ross, Rhodey, Fury has a chance to be a Skrull coming out of all of this.
Dermot Mulroney.
The president, like if Rhodey is a Skrull, how far does it actually go? And the thing is that I don't even know, because it's not gonna lead to Chris Evans or Tony Stark
may not hit
being Skrulls. I don't even know if I want them to give us their biggest Skrull reveals in this 6-part series. Leave it ambiguous. Play it up.
Let it happen in the actual movies at different points.
At what is it? New World Order? Is that what the shit's called now? Captain America?
No, Brave New World.
Oh Jesus! Brave stuff. Do it there. Have another Skrull reveal there. or Armor Wars. Like, continue to build on it until maybe they do get convinced to have an actual character who's been a Skrull for a decent amount of their continuity. Because again, Ross is not a huge character. He's not even a sidekick. You can't even really call him a sidekick. He is the ancillary of all ancillary characters. But Ross has enough MCU influence that if he was a Skrull for more than like a year, he has affected things, right? He's made decisions as a person that he was not.
Yeah.
He's set things in motion, and that gives you an opportunity for retroactive storytelling.
Yeah.
That I'm interested in, right? It's not that it was a dead story because you can't have the biggest heroes involved with it. It becomes a dead story when you isolate it so that it's over and done with here, right? You want to have your story, tell your story, but make it so that it is still adaptable and we can keep adding on pieces to that story going forward. That's the potential I see for it. But I never, even when the show was announced, they made it a show. Right? They didn't make it a 2-part movie event. They didn't make it, a special or anything like that. They made it a TV show. So that, like, from the jump, that signaled to me that it was going to be nerfed to a certain degree. But so was Civil War, and Civil War was one of the greatest MCU movies we've ever seen. So it's not like they can't do it. It's not like they can't do it.
It's not like they can't do it, but do you trust Marvel to be able to put some of this in the future, in future movies?
I mean, this isn't a really complicated concept, man. Like, if you leave it open-ended, and they're already dealing with the president, they're already dealing with, I believe, what's probably perceived as Secretary of State with Rhodes, right? You have people, MI6 with old girl. You have influential enough people in the show as currently constituted, and we'll probably see more. But you have enough right now to where if those people are Skrulls and they continue to be Skrulls outside of this show, that is something that has to be built upon. They are giving them threads that have to be addressed in other parts of the MCU so far. As long as they don't spite themselves, right? Like and cut it all off and end it all by the time this 6-parter is over, they will have done their job.
Yeah.
They will have created an interesting enough concept. Because then tell me this. If the Skrulls make it out of this skirmish without being eradicated off of Earth, are you not going to be asking, okay, that was a crazy decision. Is that a Skrull? From now until they're no longer an issue? Yes. Every time a character makes a questionable decision, you're going to be asking, okay, is this part of the Skrull invasion? Is this just another? You know what I mean? So no, it's not Chris Evans as a Skrull or Scarlett Johansson as a Skrull. But you can still do interesting enough things to make it matter for your show, for sure.
So now I want to be starting to watch Marvel like Cardi B and be like, that was suspicious. That was suspicious. Oh no, like Umar. You don't find that suspicious?
Suspicious?
You don't find that
You
suspicious?
don't find that suspicious?
All right, let's see. William Moloch says they still lying about Blade coming out. Blade's not coming out. They
didn't lie. They just moved it back again. All
right,
Blade's gotta come out because if Mahershala don't walk and it don't come out, they'll kill him. They kill him. That's an Oscar winner, right? He's literally had himself on ice from other major roles for the last 2 years, trying to shoot this.
We'll see.
And again, that doesn't do anything to help their reputation off the screen.
Yeah. No, agreed. Enviro Earth 2 says, can you explain what will happen with the Sony universe? Michael Keaton was recently transported to the Morbius world and Kraven is out soon. Kraven doesn't look too bad.
I did not watch Morbius, so I didn't know anything about the Michael Keaton thing.
Yeah, no.
What will happen with the Sony universe? Well, so Kraven's coming out, and that'll either be another step forward the Sony universe, or it will be another hiccup, another pitfall. The thing that doesn't bode well for them is another anti-hero movie, and those have not been going well for them. Not been going well for them at all. Venom
to say the least.
is garbage. which is so surprising because Tom Hardy is a plus level actor for me. Very versatile, very good actor. Want to see him on screen anytime he's involved with the project. Will not watch Venom again. I won't put myself through that. I won't do it.
Yeah, no, for sure.
I think with Woody Harrelson. I fucking love Woody Harrelson. Will not ever watch that movie again. I will not watch Venom 2 again, ever.
You know, Tom Hardy was great as Bane, but couldn't make it happen as Venom.
So, okay. They gotta do something with Kraven. Kraven can't bomb. It can't bomb.
Kraven's
it can't be the Flash.
Decent. It can't be Morbius.
It can't even be like, oh, that was a good comic book movie, but it just didn't make a lot of money. No, it can't do that.
No, it has to make money.
It's got to be profitable, and it's got to get people excited for Sony as a brand. That's number one, because that's the first thing on their docket. The next thing, which Josh, somebody might be listening. Sony might need to put us on the payroll, because I hear that El Muerto has been scrapped from their production schedule, from their production calendar here recently.
Interesting.
Sounds like they've been listening to me, and that comes just, 2 or 3 weeks after Amy Pascal says that they are fast-tracking a live-action Miles. Who gave him the idea to cut that El Muerto or that Madam Web stuff for the moment and go ahead and fast-track that Miles stuff?
It was this guy.
Those are the two next steps that Sony has to do. Get another property going, right? Because the thing that people are saying about you now is like, all right, sure, you're working the Miles train, but that's basically Spider-Man, right? Spider-Man always worked for you. It's all the other stuff that you can't do.
Yeah.
Right? It's all the other crap that you can't do. You can't do villains. You can't do team-up movies. You can't do that stuff. Mm-hmm. Spit in the face of that. Give them something else from the Sony universe that has legs that people will come back to see, who will maybe entertain a group up film with your most popular characters. Tom Hardy flanked by Tom Holland flanked by Tom Hardy's Venom and Morbius and Jared Leto's Morbius. That ain't gonna get it. That's not going to get it. It's not gonna do it. It's not gonna do it. Even part of the Sinister Six right now. If those are your first two, I'm not excited. But now if Kraven jumps off, he's one of the ones. Vulture, obviously, right? Like, you know, maybe Donald. Well, no, we're not doing Donald Glover Prowler. But anyways, you know, maybe we get Doc Ock back from Peter Parker's universe or something of that nature. But they need another character to jump off other than Miles Morales. And they need to make that live action Miles movie now. They need to make it now. Make a casting decision, hire a director, start sourcing your funding, and get that thing on the roll. Well, I probably said those things out of order, but you need to do them all in the correct order.
Yeah. No, for sure. For sure. They will introduce a separate... Oh, wait. Did I miss one? Yeah, I did. The Kamoyo Kid says, do you think we will just get Rhodey in this series, or will War Machine pull up? I think it'll just be Rhodey, in this one specifically. Well, you know what? They did just kind of start a whole ass war, though.
They did start a war, so you may see some War Machine. And then also... If that was just the chase scenes or the big public explosions was the first episode, you'd have to think our boss level fight at some point is going to need more than just Talos and Nick Fury. Sure. They're going to have to call back up for someone at some point.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't rule Rhodey out.
That's fair. Okay. Enviro Earth 2 says they will introduce a separate Spider-Man into the Sony universe for Sinister Six. Oh, that's a question. So, will they introduce a separate Spider-Man into the Sony universe for Sinister Six?
Are you meaning that other Spider-Man is Miles, or what would be a third Spider-Man? So we'd have Holland, whoever's playing Miles, and then another one for Sinister Six? I don't think so. I think Holland will be the Spider-Man for Sinister Six movie if they do it. It only makes sense because, I mean, that's the ticket right there in terms of live action Spider-Man as currently constituted. It's Holland. He's the ticket.
Yeah. No, for sure. He also said we saw Fury in Far From Home. That was after the blip. I think we were talking about Fury changing after the blip. I can't remember when though.
But that wasn't Fury. That was Talos.
I vaguely remember that. I can't remember.
Yeah, that wasn't Fury, y'all. That was Talos. Fury was already up in Saber.
The Kamoyo Kid says, hopefully Fury has more screen time with this show than he did his entire MCU run.
You went out a little bit. Say the last part again.
Hopefully Fury has more screen time with this show than he did his entire MCU run.
Yes. No. Literally, y'all. He will have more screen time as a total runtime in this six-part series than he. You took the words out my mouth. You already said it. He absolutely will have more screen time in this 6-episode series than he's had in his. Can we call it 20 years? When did Iron Man 1 come out? 2008? So not quite 20 years yet.
Yeah. 15.
Going on 20 years of being in the MCU.
It's nuts. It's crazy.
Amazing. What's the name talked about that? Elizabeth Olsen said something about that. I think we talked about it on the pod about signing long-term deals with Marvel, because you see how that worked out. They signed my man to a 12-movie deal. 12 movies. Now,
he got paid.
You probably think, well, yeah, he got paid, but look how much control he had to give up to do it. Yeah. And look how much he was actually seen and what he actually did. Mm-hmm. Like, once they get you locked in, they like, hey, boy, hey, cash them checks and shut up. Cash them and shut up. Matter of fact, you're not in this movie. Get off set.
Yikes. William Moloch says Marvel can't fail with Sam Jackson, which is funny that we said that after what we just said.
Better not.
The Kamoyo Kid says that score had no swag.
Yeah, I didn't think the score was very good. I think that was something that they could have done better.
Hayes in there.
Good Lord have mercy.
Leader says, what upcoming movie are each of you looking forward to seeing in the theater? I still haven't seen Flash, so there's that. So I
yeah, want to see he that. Said looking forward to seeing.
I actually am looking forward to seeing it because I have to see what made it so bad.
Mission Impossible.
That's up there.
For sure. And Dune 2.
That is not up there for me.
Mission Impossible 7 and Dune 2.
I'm actually looking forward to...
Or probably my most anticipated for the rest of the year.
Looking forward to Captain America, Brave New World. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. All right. Killing Maria in the first episode seems like an odd decision. Not so much. You gotta give it a little...
But see...
for the first
okay,
episode.
go ahead. My bad.
I was just going to say, you gotta give it a little something for the first episode. And it sets course for the rest of the season.
Who gave us that comment?
EnviroEarth 2.
Okay, so I just want to make sure it wasn't anybody who was complaining about the stakes. You can't complain about the stakes in the show and how isolated it's going to be, but then they killed Maria too early. But if you didn't make that argument already, then I guess it's an interesting decision, right? It's going to rub some folks the wrong way. It's going to appease some folks. I liked it because they're letting us know that what happens here at least has that lasting impact. So if you're going to give this that in episode 1, I could only expect the stakes to raise from there. And so that's why I continue to have optimism, because they did a good deal of things that actually have implications outside of this show. Like them killing Ross and him being a Skrull. That has to play. If somebody else picks up Ross and they don't have that written into there somehow, some way, explaining exactly when he got taken over, what are you doing? And then similarly, Maria Hill was that annoying young heir apparent who was giving Nick Fury shit about being too old, and now she's dead. Right? So No more hearing about how not ready he is all the damn time.
Well,
And
multiple
we'll
people
just,
said that in this last episode, so it might
and
still
we
come
can
back
just
up.
get on to him proving it, right?
Yeah.
We're not going to spend the whole rest of this series talking about what he can't do. We got that out the way, and that person's dead. So I think we're okay. Let's move forward.
We'll see. Stamina MC says London calling. What's up, bus boys?
What up, dog?
Now that Stamina MC is here, I think it's only right that we only discuss sports from now on.
That we say what?
He left a comment on our W's and L's saying, "Oh, you guys are talking about sports. I'm out of here."
No.
I just thought that was funny. All right. William Moloch says M'Baku is Super Skrull and now has full control over the most powerful nation on Earth.
M'Baku is Super Skrull? Y'all are nuts.
You never know. Could be anybody, right?
That would be the craziest retcon.
You gotta
Super
give the reason for Shuri handing it over to M'Baku just willy-nilly at the end of Wakanda Forever. So maybe he's a Skrull.
I forgot that even happened. So technically, the leader of Wakanda right now is M'Baku.
Yeah, she gave it to him. She was like, "Yeah, here, I'm going to Haiti to see my nephew."
Doesn't worship bastard. Never mind. This is not a Black Panther.
Well, they didn't make him Black Panther. I guess they just made him. Okay, no, I know.
Giant bass statue sitting right next to the cat.
I know. But
Royal family
endowed with They made him King of Wakanda without making him Black Panther. Yes, that's. I know. I know.
It's all right. Let's move on.
I know.
Let's move on.
I'm aware. All right. Enviro R2 says the A-list actors are too egotistical to star in a show. Samuel L. Jackson is an A-list actor, I would think.
And Emilia Clarke was being eyed to replace Amber Heard as Mira for a little while there. I mean, those are two actors who can command big tickets. Now, they got those contracts when the MCU was making money. So now, if you say now, with the price that Marvel can offer them now, oh yeah, no, they're going to struggle to get top-level talent. I wouldn't be surprised if this whole thing with Margot Robbie and maybe going with the other chick from Last Duel as Sue Richards, Sue Storm, whatever.
Same thing.
That may be a money thing. It may just be a money thing. Because if I'm Margot Robbie, I know I got she had to get somewhere around $20 million for Barbie. Somewhere. Not to mention, what is she? She did Amsterdam. She did Babylon last year. Like, I mean, she had Wolf on Wall Street. She's been in some films that have gotten some paydays. So, like, she's going to be able to command a ticket. What's up?
Did she not get paid for Suicide Squad?
Ooh, we don't mention those. Suicide Squad and Birds of Prey, we don't mention that. That's not going on her Rolodex. She don't tell nobody about those. She would be good to stick to Wolf on Wall Street and
Wolf on Wall Street from like 15 years ago, and that's crazy. And Barbie. Hey. Well, Barbie is new, so there's that.
Yeah, Barbie is new. She needs Barbie to hit because the Birds of Prey shit wasn't it. Birds of Prey and Suicide Squad shit wasn't it. You got to give them some projects that actually made some money and be like, okay, this is why you got to pay me $20 million.
Fair enough. Tony Robinson has extended his name on the thing, so he is now Tony Robinson from West Memphis. He says, "What's goody, gents? What's going on with you, Tony?" Stamina MC says, "I think it's more likely the money ain't right, hence all the strike talk across the industry. Streaming has allowed the studios to hoodwink damn near everyone because it's a new model." Apparently, he was talking to Enviro Earth 2. The Kamoyo Kid says, "Will the Kree pop up?"
That would be an interesting twist. If the Kree come and interfere or assist the humans. But then again, the Kree are not sympathetic, nor are they true allies in the MCU right now either. So that would be almost as treacherous as fighting the Skrulls at that point. I don't see how they wouldn't, though, because given the premise that was set by Captain Marvel, ain't that what they do? Run around, go into different worlds where Skrulls have been known to be embedded and try to root them out? Isn't that literally what they were doing with Carol Danvers in the first movie? So like, we just go let them run it up on Earth, huh?
Yeah, why not? Scoreboard, bro. K-Pop says if Marvel/Disney was smart and made good decisions with Phase 4 and 5, they could have led movies and TV shows to build up to a Secret Invasion movie to make it close to the actual comic series. Agreed.
It feels like overarching world building kind of took a back seat in the MCU, which is weird because that is literally what got them to where they are. It's what set them apart from every other film studio, even daring to do action films, and started a trend that has jumped across genres. Right? The idea of world building and having an overarching narrative crossing over multiple films. That is something that has permeated all of Hollywood. They were a trendsetter in that. It's okay. Well, if that's what you're gonna do, keep it up. But then they became a little bit more focused on doing, isolated stories and basically like going back to the Phase 1 model of storytelling, but not necessarily doing origin stories. It's like we're gonna keep the story here and centered on this character the entire time, but it's not gonna be an origin. So it's going to be more like a Marvel Character of the Week episode as opposed to a feature film. It's kind of what it's gotten to, as opposed to every single one of these movies is a different installment to the story.
Fair enough. And Viral Earth 2 says, you refuse to watch Venom 3 when it comes out? What's up with you, bro?
I'm not doing it.
What's up with you?
Yeah, I'm not doing it, bro. I'm not doing it.
Tony Robinson says, both Venom films were booty trash, and I never watched Morbius.
Shout out to, hey, we on the same page. I still haven't seen Morbius to this day.
Yikes.
Shout out to Tyrese.
K-Pop says, it would have been a great way to retcon T'Challa's death and bring back Captain America, Iron Man, Black Widow, etc. in a 2-part saga film while introducing new Marvel characters.
I mean, so in terms of the bringing back T'Challa thing, Milton Friedman was a Skrull. When did they snatch up Agent Ross? When did they get him? Before his trip to Wakanda? After his trip to Wakanda? If it was before, that would have been a perfect opportunity to plant a seed that would one day topple a king. They couldn't explain it. They had no way of fixing whatever the illness was. It interacted that poorly with the heart-shaped herb, something that has been present in T'Challa's body since birth. Has been present in all of his ancestors' bodies since the comet hit Wakanda. When was Ross a Skrull? That's a thing. That is a thing. Don't tell me he's been a Skrull for 6 months. Then none of this fucking matters. None of it matters. It's dumb. It's stupid. I want him to wake up and not know anybody. I want Ross to wake up and not remember ever going to Wakanda, not ever meeting T'Challa, none of it. I want him to not know about any of it. So when they find Ross's body, I want him to wake up and be like, "Hey man, I was with Julia Dreyfus, and all of a sudden I was knocked out, and now I'm here."
Shuri? Who is Shuri? William Moloch says, Madam
King of Wakanda died twice?
Hey, yo.
In 5 years? And the Queen? You mean the Wakandan leader died 3 times in 10 years? Man, sure powerful nation over there.
Yo. William Moloch says, Madam Web might be fire. He says, I wish she was old, though. He wants old Madam Web.
Well, that would make it... comic book fans would go to see it there. But are you going to watch, if you are 16 and you got your last $20 in your pocket, Are you going to go see Madam Web for the chick who was in 50 Shades of Grey or Meryl Streep?
Meryl
Who you
Streep.
going for?
Future.
Shut up.
Future.
Shut up. Shut up.
Tony Robinson says Sony is struggling more than DJ from Hustle and Flow, which is hilarious.
Yikes.
Nathan Moore has entered the chat and says Marvel fans are already trashing Craven. It doesn't stand a chance now. It will tank.
Nate's burner account. You can't be talking about your projects like that, Nate. They're going to fire you.
You gotta chill out with that.
You can't do that, Nate. You can't be out here using your burner to talk down on your company. They going to find you, Nate.
Stop, bro. It's not Nate Moore. It's Nathan Moore. He specifically
what is Nate stand? What is Nate short for?
Nah, bro. He specifically put Nathan to be like, I ain't got Nathan to do with Nate Moore.
Short for Nathan.
He said, I ain't got Nathan to do with Nate Moore.
All right. Hey, Nate, we here. I understand, man. I got it.
Crazy. All right. William Moloch says Fury was on the ship at the end. I'm assuming in Far From Home.
Oh, yeah. The ship scene I'm thinking about wasn't Far From Home. You're right, but he still didn't interact with Peter Parker. Right? He wasn't there. So again, in terms of establishing the timeline, if we saw that him on Saber, then it's sometime after No Way Home. It's sometime after WandaVision, because he was still on Saber at that time. He was calling up Monica Rambeau. So this must be the most recent. Like it said present day, so I guess they mean present day, like today.
Yeah.
Not MCU today at some certain point, like today. It means today in 20, or in their time, I think it's like 2025 or 2024, something like that. Yeah.
All right.
Let's talk about the director, man.
Let's talk about that.
Or you got some more questions?
No. Okay, so first of all, I saw the headline on E-Man's channel. Did E-Man interview the guy and that's where this came from? Or was this something and he reviewed it?
So I did see him doing the interview with dude. I don't know if he was the one who he said this to though or not.
I have no idea.
But yeah, man. I'll leave him alone. Because this seems to be an edict for Marvel. Stay away from the source material. Are you still telling? Well, and again, this is something that they were doing this project before they were cratering the way that they are currently. But damn, how long is it going to take for you to realize that maybe your directives around how to create the content are the problem? Maybe the path we're setting these creators on is shit. Maybe the problem is more so the directors, i.e. the producers or the overseers of all of these projects doing it in such a manufactured way and in such a assembly line way that not only are they failing, but they're all failing in the same way.
Mm-hmm.
They're all failing for the same reasons.
Yeah.
Is that not a telltale sign that maybe something is off with your process?
My thing is, okay, you're hiring these creatives specifically to come in and obviously adapt whatever source material, right? Even if you don't have them read it, right? Obviously, this shit is coming from somewhere. So why not have them read the source material so that they can adapt it in their own creative way, but still give the comic book readers their stories that they wanted to see adapt to the big screen? That doesn't make any sense to me.
To me, it's not even about giving them, the comic book story just recreated on screen, because that could be ineffective as much as it could be effective. My problem is that if you had a director who came in who wanted to do a movie about Othello, who wanted to do a movie about Hamlet, who wanted to do a movie, about Romeo and Juliet, would it be a specific directive from Disney or any other studio? Don't read Shakespeare. We want you to do this movie without reading a single Shakespeare play.
That would be the worst move ever.
What are we even talking about? When else is it suggested that people are coming into existing IP? They treat these comic books like they don't exist. Like Disney created the characters for their directors and writers to use, and anything that's already been established for those characters, throw it away. Throw it away. You can tell me that this doesn't mirror the comic books until you're blue in the face. It's not going to change the fact that I already know the characters. You literally cannot do that. You can't outmarket what's already been sold. It's already here. It's tangible. It's sitting in my hands. Like, you can't tell me that this stuff isn't a certain way and it's already been sold to me over and over and over for decades a certain way. You don't just get to redefine it. And if you do, you'll probably end up losing money.
But that's my point, though. You're hiring these creatives. Let them read it and then adapt it in the way that they see it. Let them be creative, but they should be sticking to the general idea of what happened.
They don't want them to be tied to the source so that they are more pliable to carry out their directives, the things that they want, right? Like, if you're not specifically connected to the source material, you're much more pliable as a creator to push you towards where we want you or where we need you, depending on wherever the narrative of the studio is at the moment.
Which hinders the creative's creativity anyway. Yeah. So you're paying large sums of money for these creatives just to hinder their creativity.
And you know what I think it is? It's largely for name recognition, it seems like. Because it's not like you're actually letting them make executive decisions about the show.
Yeah.
How many directors do we need to have come out? Shit, we didn't have a director and an executive producer say that they basically make the films. Marvel meaning, not the directors. So you're getting these people for their names or for their identities to stand there and act as a flag of some sort. And then you are the ones that are really creating the films.
Mm-hmm.
They act as a shield of criticism for you if it goes wrong.
Yep.
We hired a first-time director. Well, that was you. You hired them.
We hired somebody who doesn't know how to write courtroom scenes.
Yeah, no shit. You hired the whole crew from Rick and Morty and thought it would go well.
Now,
you hired the lady who made Crazy Rich Asians, and all of a sudden she can make superhero films. Right? That's how that goes. I just don't understand it. I don't get it.
It's not for us to get. We don't make billions of dollars on movies, so they're the experts. A couple of funny comments that I saw while we were ranting. The first thing is, Tony Robinson said, "I want Ross to bring me a 10-piece lemon pepper with fries." Hilarious. Stamina MC says, the headline about Ali Salim came from Screen Rant. E-Man got an interview where he said something different, but he didn't make that the focus of the video, and rage clicks generate more traffic. So, I guess that was...
Also, his interview with E-Man, he did say that he read it.
He said something different.
He said something different than that. Yeah. I watched the E-Man the interview, and I thought he said that, you know, this is our show. Like, I'm not worried about any overarching MCU themes or anything like that. Like, this is isolated to the story we wanted to tell. Now, if I don't know if that translated to I didn't read any comic books. Why do comic book content if you have some sort of attitude or feel about comic book content? And I'm not saying that's every creator, because again, I'm blaming Disney for making that the directive. But then again, if you're coming into it, you know, poo-pooing the content that came before, or not acknowledging it, or at least, you know, paying deference to it, what's the point? Why are you doing this? Other stuff you could be doing.
Paycheck.
Just my thought.
That's it. All right. Enviro Earth says, I actually liked the first Venom, but the second one was a bad film. So he at least admitted that for you.
Hey,
apparently they were both
different strokes for different folks. I didn't enjoy either one of those movies.
I didn't see one, so. Anyway, that was the first episode review. Do they have the synopsis for the second review or second episode?
Yeah, I was about to say you look it up, Mr. Clipman.
Secret Invasion episode 2. Do they have a synopsis anywhere? I would like to read it. Do you have any thoughts on what's going to happen in episode 2?
Man, so obviously the war is underway, and they're going to blame the American government because obviously Hill got killed there, Fury was seen there. So it's going to be a thing. I expect to see Fury probably bought in by NSA or the CIA or somebody like that to talk to the president, or at very least Rhodey, to kind of ascertain the situation and see what's going on now that they have an international incident. I hope that they don't go backwards, man. Gas pedal, all gas, no brakes. Especially if you're doing or dying here, if you're gonna fall on your sword here, do it. Do the thing. So I'm excited to see episode 2, and really just a few things to clean up for me in terms of making it a better show than just about everything MCU wise. Disney Plus,
She-Hulk.
Yeah, I mean, we don't even have to acknowledge that last one.
She-Hulk.
It's got a couple paces to go for Falcon and Winter Soldier, a few more to go for Loki. It's got a while to go for WandaVision. It's gonna have to prove it to me. WandaVision is the best MCU show for me. But we're off to an okay
start. First
start.
one.
Yeah, and everything was worse after that.
Your first show.
Yeah, everything was worse after that. I mean, Loki kind of gave me some hope.
Yeah.
But yeah.
We'll see season 2 for that one. All right, so I do have a preview from comicbasics.com. So shout out to comicbasics.com. In Secret Invasion episode 2, we will most likely see Fury dealing with the aftermath of Hill's murder, as well as the consequences of his return to Earth. Gaia will most likely find herself to be the target of Gravik's wrath, and she will permanently join her father Talos. As the conflict between Skrulls and humans escalates, Fury will discover that there are far more Skrulls on Earth than he has even anticipated.
I like that, though, because the more Skrulls, the more it complicates the MCU timeline. Because they're not becoming other people to sit around and live normal lives. No, they're infiltrating for the sole purpose of trying to take over Earth. The more Skrulls there are, the less likely that human Nick Fury is able to eradicate them in these 6 episodes, which means that this is a narrative that carries on to other projects. That's a good thing.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
That's a good thing. The more Skrulls, the more bad Skrulls, the better.
Yeah. Nope. Agreed. All right. So that was episode 2 preview. I'll probably split that off and make it its own what we expect video.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You got any other things to go over? I did see that Stamina MC basically said in E-Man's video, he said he was told not to, but read them anyway to understand why he was told not to. He's the director, though. The writers are the ones who need to read Kyle Bradstreet this time.
Fam, okay. So you mean they told the man not to read him? He did it anyways just to see why they would say that. At least he did the homework. But let's talk about 2 groups of folks who didn't read and how their projects even started out. Right? Miss Jessica Gao, right? And her team of writers, right? On She-Hulk. Not a whole lot of research on law or comic books. Phooey, it's a comedy. Let's make it funny. Twerk with Megan Thee Stallion. And then we got Homeboy, Ali, right? Got told not to read the books. Read them anyways. Tried to ascertain why they would even ask him not to read the source material he's making content on in the first place.
He said, "Who are you and want me to read it?"
And came up with something decent.
Yeah.
Imagine that.
You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious? I don't know. Anyway.
That's it for me, though.
that is it for me as well. Chat is still arguing about Marvel, I think. Shout out to everybody who joined us today. I think we got up to like 20 something. I think we're still at 19. Still at 19. So shout out to all of y'all in the chat. We appreciate y'all for coming through. Y'all got homework. Make sure you at least bring one other person to the next one so we can be, 40 deep next time. I like that. And subscribe. Make sure you subscribe. Anything else?